Jeff Brooks, welcome back to a special episode of Podcast for Inquiry.
Thanks for having me, Leslie. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I've met you a few times because I've been to BAHACON, all three BAHACONs, and you're in the midst of planning for the fourth. And in fact, that's what I brought you on to Podcast for Inquiry to talk about. So, in case people haven't been there or they didn't hear last year's episode, why don't you just tell us what is BAHACON?
Sure, happy to do that. So BAHACon is a conference that the Baha group puts on. Baha stands for Blue Water Atheist, Humanist, and Agnostics. So we're based out of the Sarnia area in Lambton County, right on the border of Canada, Ontario, and Michigan, really, right across the border from Port Huron. And this is the fourth year that we've been doing this conference. We really try to get a good variety of speakers. One thing we don't want our conference to be is just another religion bashing conference. We want it to be informative and educational. So we really try to get a good rounded variety of speakers that talk on a variety of topics.
All right. And so, what are the topics that, so you're in Sarnia, and when is the conference going to be so people can mark their calendars? And then tell us a little bit about what people can expect to hear if they come.
Sure. So the conference is going to be August 8th to 10th. Mark your calendars for that. We start off Friday night with a VIP dinner for those that wish to purchase the complete total package. We have a sit down meal with the speakers there as well. Saturday we kick off with the speakers about 9 o'clock. We have breakfast first for everyone that's coming. We have a nice hot breakfast. We have speakers Saturday. We have a lunch that we put on, and then everyone is free for dinner on Saturday night. There's a lot of very nice restaurants and the waterfront. We're right on the waterfront in Sarnia. And then Saturday night we're doing an after party, which includes a podcasters panel. So we're going to have some podcasters doing some live stream. And we're going to have a games night. So we're going to be getting different board games and different kinds of card games for those that want to play some games. And we're going to do that Saturday night. Sunday we have a couple more speakers to finish off our speakers, and then as we've done in the last few years, we have a boat chartered, and we spend 3 hours going up the St. Clair River. One side of the boat is facing Canada, one side of the boat is facing the United States, because the river is the border between Ontario and Michigan. And yeah, we do that. We have a little luncheon on board, and the speakers come on board, so everyone has an opportunity to chat with their favorite speakers and really have a good a finish to the conference.
Well, that sounds lovely. So you mentioned that although you're an atheist, humanist, and agnostic group, the purpose of BahaCon is not just or not at all to bash religion. So there's going to be, as I count, 10 speakers there. Can you give us an overview of what we can expect to hear, those of us that are attending?
Sure. So this year you'd almost think it was a medical conference. We have so many doctors coming this year. We have Dr. Abby Hafer who's coming. For those that aren't familiar with Dr. Hafer, she wrote a book about not so intelligent design and talks about the difference between creation and evolution. We have Dr. Phil Zuckerman coming, who's always a very entertaining speaker. It's going to be his first time to Baja, as well as Dr. Anthony Pinn. John Loftus is coming this year, as well as Dr. Christopher DiCarlo, and Dr. Andrew White is coming this year. Jasmine Falk is coming, and then we have Erica, known as Gutsick Gibbon, who is coming this year for her first time. And then as return speakers, two of our conference's favorites, we have Forrest Valkai coming back, He spoke last year and was very entertaining and very well received. And of course, we have Seth Andrews coming to finish off the Saturday, who has been at every one of our Bahas and is always an entertaining speaker to listen to.
Yeah, and I've met I met both Seth and Valkai, Forrest Valkai last year. Uh, Seth was gracious enough to come on Podcast for Inquiry, and Christopher DiCarlo and Phil Zuckerman have been guests on this podcast earlier, and I'm looking forward to meeting Phil Zuckerman in person for the first time. I'm planning on being there. So if that's not enough, if everything that you've just mentioned is not enough to entice people to come, what else? What else is there about BahaCon that you would encourage them, that might tip them over the edge, and decide to attend?
Well, we have a very entertaining master of ceremonies that kind of oversees the conference and keeps everything on track. That would be myself. So we try to keep things going and keep people entertained. I think the one of the biggest things that I get out of Baja and understanding that the first year of Baja, I was there simply as a person in the audience. I was searching the internet, looking up different things, including where Seth Andrews was going to be. And I noticed that he was going to be in Sarnia, Point Edward, Ontario, which is literally half an hour from my house. And so, of course, I had to go to see him there. That was my very first Baja, and it was the very first Baja. And one thing that really impressed me about it, and one reason why I was interested in becoming a part of the organization to set it up, is the sense of community. So, one thing we really do is encourage community and encourage meeting and greeting with other people. So, as an example, when we set up the room for the conference, we have round tables that people sit at. So, in between the speakers, there's a great opportunity to have conversation with the other people at your table for breakfast and for lunch. Um, we meet, you have an opportunity to meet a lot of people. We've had some couples that have met for the first time at Baja, and they're now couples, so it worked out in some for some people as well. Um, but a lot of that I put
Come,
down to
come
the
for the
fact that
conference, stay for the spouse.
exactly. Um, a lot of that I put down to the organizational way we do it. In that there's lots of time to meet other people and have those conversations.
Yeah, and as someone that I've been to all three, I'm looking forward to four. One thing that I found different, I haven't been to a lot of these conferences, but everyone is in the same room. And I was at a conference, and you get some big name speakers, and they come in for the meet and greet dinner, and then they disappear. They come in for their big talk, and it's often a very good one. But then I don't know, they go back to their rooms or they go to the speakers room or whatever. But they're basically gone. And at BahaCon, everybody's in the room together. You can sit down, and the one of the people at your table just might be one of the speakers, and if the opportunities to interact with each other and with the speakers, just not as a sage on a stage, but just as two people talking, I found really set BahaCon apart compared to some of the other conferences that I've been. But like my favorite memories, as good as the speakers have been, and they have been very good, my favorite memories are the conversations I've had with my fellow attendees, and that's been great. So I can
Yep.
give my endorsement at least for the first three. They've been fantastic, and I have every reason to
Yep.
expect that number four in August will be just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the speakers are so good at um, I don't want to say working the room. I don't mean that in a bad way, but when they come in, they don't sort of sit at a speaker's table and all talk amongst themselves. They really do spread themselves throughout the room. So you could be listening to, Seth Andrews or Phil Zuckerman talking, and have Forrest Valkai sitting at the table with you while that's going on. So they really do engage with the people there. You have lots of opportunity to meet the speakers, to talk with the speakers. one of the nice things on the Sunday when we're on the boat is there's unless they want to swim, there's no way they can get away from you. So that they're captive audience on the boat. So, but I agree with you. It really is that sense of community and that sense uh, of getting to know other people, which is I think so important in any group. Certainly, in our group as well. One thing we hear when people leave religion is one thing that they miss out on is that community, and so I think it's important that we show that we still have community. It's a different community, and it's um, but it's equally a community and a family. So
All right. So I think that people are convinced they want to come, but they may not be familiar with Sarnia. So where is Sarnia, Ontario? Give us some landmarks of larger cities and the approximate distance by car or plane from them.
sure. So we have about half and half of this people that come are from Canada versus the United States. If you're from Canada, if you uh, find London, Ontario, which is a fair sized city, if you just head about an hour west of that on the 402 highway, the 402 ends at Sarnia. In fact, the hotel is just off the 402, just before you enter the United States. If you're going through a toll bridge, then you've gone too far. It's um, and then if you're coming from the United States, we're about an hour, just over an hour out of Detroit, would be the biggest hub. So most people that fly into Detroit. We're right across the border from Port Huron, Michigan. So if you can find Port Huron, Michigan, then it's just across the border. You can see the hotel from the bridge as you come across the border. And we will have up on our website, we do have a shuttle service from Sarnia that if you're flying into Detroit, you can arrange to be picked up by the shuttle service and then brought back on the Sunday or whenever your return flight is. So um, it's a beautiful area. It's called Blue Water because the water is certainly blue. We have lots of beachfront and waterfront. So it's for those that want to come and spend an extra couple days in the region. It's a very nice place to hang out and
Yeah. I mean, I live in Toronto. It's about a 3 hour drive for me,
yep,
and I usually just I rent a car and I come for the weekend.
yeah, yeah. Which depending on the time of day, it could be 3 hours going across Toronto. So that's
That's true. I love living in the city. I think it's a great place to live, but man, it is a terrible place to drive in.
yes.
Sarnia, not a wonderful place to live, not a problem to drive in. I may have to
Nope.
reconsider my priorities in life.
Yes, yeah, Sarnia is not bad. So if you're the venue is at the Four Point Sheridan,
Hmm.
and if you're looking it up, it's actually in a little community right next to Sarnia called Point Edward, Ontario. So when you don't be confused if you're looking at the 4 points and it doesn't say Sarnia, it says Point Edward. That's the spot. And was recently in the last couple of years had a major renovation done. Last year was the first year it was all open and ready to go. All the rooms have been renovated, and we have a special room rate, $144 a night for those that are going to stay at the hotel. And you can log on through our website. There's a link for the hotel, and that will take you to a page where you get the group discount.
Okay, well that and if people, I'm sure that we have convinced people from near and afar to come. So if people aren't going to be driving but they're going to be flying, what are the best airports to fly into to come to Sarnia?
Detroit, if you're in the United States, so Detroit is the closest. Flint is also an option on the U.S. side of the border. Flint is a little smaller airport. And on the Canadian side, if depending where you're coming from, Toronto, as you said, is about 3 hours away. There's also an airport in London, which is just over an hour away. So you can fly into London and then rent a car or come from London to, it's a bit far for a cab, but you can get a car in London and come. We had a few people do that last year. So those are really the closest airports.
All right.
Unfortunately, after the last couple of years, we used to have a flight come into Sarnia Airport, but in the last few years, Air Canada no longer has that flight, which is unfortunate. But
All right, Jeff. I'm sure that people are convinced they're chomping at the bit in order to come to BahaCon. How can they register and let you know to expect them?
yeah, so they can go to the website www.bahacon.com, and you will find a link to get tickets from Eventbrite. Through Eventbrite, tickets went on sale April 1st, and we are already selling pretty quickly. For those that are interested in the boat, on the Sunday, we do have a limited number of spots on the boat. The boat can take about 150 people, I think. So it's a good sized boat, but we always have more than 150 attendees. So there will come a point where we will sell out the boat, and that won't be available. So for people that want to enjoy the whole experience and do the boat on Sunday, I recommend registering sooner than later so that you can ensure you get a spot on the boat for the Sunday.
All right. Well, Jeff, thank you for taking the time. I'm looking forward to seeing you yet again in August. And to all the listeners, if you're going to be there, please stop by and say hello to Jeff and to myself. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, thanks, Leslie. I'm looking forward to seeing you again as well.
All right. Bye bye.